Hey everyone, welcome back to your channel name. Today, we're diving into the world of sci-fi disaster films with a review of Geostorm. Released in 2017, this movie is a wild ride full of extreme weather, advanced technology, and some pretty epic destruction. If you're into action-packed disaster flicks or curious about this film, stick around because we're about to break it all down. So, Geostorm is set in a near future where Earth's climate has spiraled out of control. Natural disasters are becoming more frequent and more severe, so the world's governments come together to create a solution, a massive network of satellites called Dutch Boy, which can control the weather and prevent catastrophic events. At first, everything seems to be working, but of course, things take a turn for the worst. What starts as a few glitches in the systems quickly escalates into a full-blown global disaster. And it's up to our hero, Jake Lawson, played by Gerard Butler, to save the day. Let's start with the premise. On paper, it sounds pretty cool, right? The idea of a giant satellite system controlling the weather to prevent disasters is very sci-fi, and there's definitely potential there for an exciting story. The film mixes high-stakes action with some political intrigue, as it turns out that the weather-controlling satellites aren't just malfunctioning, they've been sabotaged. So now, on top of battling extreme weather, Jake also has to uncover a conspiracy. One of the biggest strengths of Geostorm is the sheer scale of the disaster scenes. If you're a fan of movies like The Day After Tomorrow or 2012, you'll feel right at home here. The visuals are impressive, with giant tidal waves, freezing cities, and even firestorms wreaking havoc across the globe. The special effects team definitely put in work, and some of the disaster sequences are genuinely breathtaking. But while the movie delivers on spectacle, it does have its fair share of issues, and that's where we'll dive a little deeper. First off, the pacing feels a bit off at times. The movie spends a lot of time setting up the world and the satellite system, but when things start going wrong, the action doesn't always flow as smoothly as you'd hope. There are moments where the tension ramps up, but then it suddenly dips, which can pull you out of the experience. Gerard Butler's performance as Jake Lawson is solid, though. He's the classic action hero, tough, determined, and willing to do whatever it takes to save the planet. His character has some family drama mixed in, as he's estranged from his brother Max, played by Jim Sturgess, who's now running the weather satellite program on Earth. The brotherly dynamic adds a bit of emotional weight to the story, but it doesn't get as much attention as you'd expect given how important their relationship is to the plot. Another standout performance is from Andy Garcia, who plays the President of the United States. He brings a certain gravitas to the role, especially during the more tense political moments where we learn that someone high up in the government is behind the sabotage of Dutch Boy. There's a subplot involving a political conspiracy, which feels a little bit like The Manchurian Candidate meets Armageddon. And while it's an interesting twist, it's not fully explored, leaving some elements feeling underdeveloped. Now, let's talk about the science, or rather, the lack of it. This is one of those movies where you have to suspend your disbelief a lot. The idea of controlling the weather with satellites is definitely intriguing, but the movie takes some major leaps in logic and physics. If you're someone who likes your sci-fi grounded in reality, Geostorm might be a bit of a stretch. There are moments where the movie tries to explain how Dutch Boy works, but honestly, it's best to just sit back and enjoy the ride without overthinking it. One of the things that may divide audiences is the balance between the disaster movie elements and the political thriller aspects. Geostorm tries to be both, but it doesn't fully succeed in blending the two genres. On the one hand, you've got these massive, visually stunning disaster scenes that are the bread and butter of the movie. On the other hand, you have the conspiracy plot, which involves sabotage, government corruption, and assassination attempts. The movie doesn't always juggle these elements smoothly, so at times, it feels like you're watching two different films stitched together. But hey, let's not forget why most people watch disaster movies in the first place: the destruction. If you're here for the spectacle, Geostorm delivers. Whether it's a superstorm tearing through Hong Kong or a deadly heatwave roasting cities in the Middle East, the film goes all out in showcasing how terrifying a malfunctioning weather system could be. The action sequences are well choreographed, and there are definitely some wow moments that'll have you on the edge of your seat. The movie also tries to sprinkle in some humor here and there, especially between Jake and Max, but it doesn't always land. The jokes feel a bit forced at times, which is a shame because a little well-placed humor could have helped balance out the more over-the-top moments. In terms of themes, Geostorm touches on the dangers of playing God with nature, the consequences of power in the wrong hands, and the importance of global cooperation. These are great themes to explore, but the movie doesn't dive into them as deeply as it could have. Instead, it opts for a more straightforward approach to the story, which works for the popcorn entertainment value, but leaves you wanting a bit more substance. Overall, Geostorm is a fun, if flawed, disaster movie. It's packed with action, some jaw-dropping visual effects, and a plot that's entertaining, even if it doesn't always make sense. If you're in the mood for a movie that's big on spectacle and don't mind turning off your brain for a while, then Geostorm might be just the ticket. Just don't go in expecting a deeply thought-provoking film. It's all about the action and thrills here. Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this review, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more movie reviews and content. Drop a comment below and let me know your favorite disaster movie or what you thought of Geostorm. Until next time, stay safe, and let's hope we never have to deal with a real-life Geostorm. See you in the next video.